Hey, you true believers. Chris Mack coming at you today with Something's Killing the Children, issue 2. And I absolutely am loving this series. I thought that it was going to be kind of a little, the way that the first issue was slow, and I would kind of initially read it, I was like, this is going to be kind of rare. But instead, what it's become, it's sort of like The Nice House on the Lake. It's a slow burn comic. And real quick before we dive into this, let's talk about, I'm not sure if this is a second print or not. I'm not sure if this is an Ethan Young, but this cover, man, it is absolutely lovely. Now on the back, they got James Tynion doing the writing, Werther Del Erda doing the art, and Miguel Muerto, which I cannot remember. The credits are somewhere in here, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember where. So we're just going to kind of go with it and at least give the creators due, but to kind of give them the proper credits, I'm not going to dig. If we find it, we find it. If not, then let's continue. But this book is gorgeous. I've never really heard of this artist, Mac. That's their signature there. But I saw this one and I had to have it. Now, gushing aside, continuing on about the plot. We open up on this character, and I love the way he comes downstairs. And look at the way that the mom is chain smoking. And the son, his name's Tommy, I believe, he goes, "Oh hell, did you sleep?" "A little enough." "Did you? You look terrible." "Thanks, Mom." "I'm just being honest. You should wash your face at least. Help get those rings out from under your eyes." Now, she's asking to put if he can put these flyers on the cars of outside the restaurant he works. He's like, "I'm not gonna do that, Mom. They asked me to stop because it's upsetting customers." "Are they gonna fire you if you do it again?" "I mean, no. I'm a manager, and the owner's really sympathetic." And the way the mom just deadpans, "Then put them on the cars. It'll make me feel better." And what they're talking about is the missing flyers of his sister. Because remember, right now, there's this whole string of murders and a whole bunch of missing kids. So, in a sense, the overarch, in a sense, reminds me of Derry from It. The way that the children were missing and the way that it had to consume the children to live. But we don't know anything. And that's always the good thing about suspense and horror, is the lack of information. And that's what I like, how even though Tommy's trying to deal with his missing sister, and he hears this kind of like a screech, and he goes, "Hello? Is anybody there?" And this is great. Got this suburbia house, and then we just see this big demonic thing, and Tommy can't see it. So there's a hint right there in the paneling. Does this mean that only a certain age range can see these things? Or do you have to have a certain type of shining? Just do Stephen King again. But I just love how he's looking, and he can't even look right. He doesn't see it. And us as the viewers, we're like, "Run, stupid!" Because that thing is absolutely terrifying. And the way it's done with the artwork here just works absolutely phenomenal. And then, of course, something's killing the children. And I remember the girl, I cannot remember. I think someone said her name was Sarah Slaughter. I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me. But she met James, the one that is being accused of killing his friends. And so I like here how she's taken to an Applebee's. Yes, an Applebee's. Get it? And you kind of get to see more of her, the way she processes each town where this happens. And I just like how she's the way, since we've met her, she's just very, what's the word? Blunt. It's like, "You the manager? Do people come here?" "What? This place. Do you get people in here, or is it usually pretty empty?" "I'm sorry, I don't understand the question." Boom. If I say that booth over there is my booth, and I'm going to leave stuff there, would that be a problem? Do you have like a lunch that I need to be worried about? I don't. We have a policy. Yeah, but is it an actual problem or just a fake problem you can ignore? Look, and remember, this is Tommy that we just met at the beginning of the book. $50 a day to be right to your pocket, and I'll order stuff and tip. Deal should only be a few days. And so this is kind of her base of operations. And it's kind of interesting how she brings James along, but of course she needs like a local to kind of show her the way of the land, and that's kind of why we were introduced to James at the beginning of the series, and how everything kind of ties along with him. And as she's analyzing, I like how James says, have you done this kind of thing before? You're acting like you've done this kind of thing before. And again, while we're kind of getting these moments, it feels, again, slow. And real quick, I want to put a pin in this real quick. One thing that's really killing me, like when I try to introduce people to either older shows or more, okay, I guess I'll just use an example, Squid Games. So everyone, like the first episode or so was just like, God, this is boring. And I said, guys, you gotta learn that everything can't be right off the cuff Michael Bay. You have to let things build, or else you don't care. You have to care about why these people are in this tournament. What's their motivation? Same here with her, where we're slowly kind of, Tinian is purposely holding back information on her so that everything's not right there on the get-go. We get what she does, but why she does it, everything is slowly being revealed. And James is kind of like the catalyst to kind of get that information out of her. Again, as he says, you're acting like you've done this thing before. So moments of kind of blandness, slunk. You just see how she's basically living in violence, and just the way the art style goes from a little more crisp to just pure fucking madness. The way she just looks up with this cleaver, and she just looks down, jaded. Yeah, I've done this kind of thing before. Now show me where your house is. And so Tommy, kind of realizing that they're doing some sort of investigation, and he talks about how Sophie's his sister. She's the one that's missing. And while all this is happening, something sets Tommy off. That kind of starts to get the local sheriff involved. And again, we start to get some more information on, I'm just going to call her Sarah Slaughter because I have no idea what her name is yet. I don't think she's dropped it, and that's another thing. But here, she keeps dropping down this squid. And she's like, you saw the map. It's a Class E7. There are still kids missing, so it's stashing its food somewhere. There are probably caves off the lake. I need to know what kind of thing it's going to be before I go looking for it. And it's probably going to be a few days before I can do that. So I need you thinking on it in the meantime. Do you understand? And the way she's just staring at this thing, and then it goes, yes. Whoa. Just the heebie-jeebies, man. So as the book kind of comes to a conclusion, she has to deal with somebody that's bugging her at her hotel room. And what the hell is this thing in the background? What does it have to do with absolutely anything? That's what I mean by this book is a slow burn. You get some information, but you don't. And it makes you want to pick up the next issue. And it's maddening because these early issues are, I'm going to be honest with you, are son of a bitch to get a hold of. I looked at some of the prices for like first printings and whatnot. Oh my God, forget about it. I am not doing that. Now, with that said, check it out. We found the credits. This is The Angel of Archer's Peak, Part 2. James Tynion writing. Illustrations by Werther Dell'Edera. Colors by Mikel Murato. Lettered by Ann World Design. And then there's everyone else working on the book. And then, of course, Something Is Killing the Children was created by James Tynion IV and Werther Dell'Edera. So, guys, if you slept on this series like I did, don't go the route that I'm going. I'm a junkie for floppies. That's just the way that I was introduced to collecting. It's the way I like to collect. I love picking up books weekly. It's just something that I personally enjoy doing. But again, these early issues are increasing in price quickly, And if you don't want to try to break the bank, I would suggest just going the collected trade route if you just want to read them that way. But the collector in me says, hey, we're going to do the floppies whether you like it or not. So that is the bane of my existence. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and pick up a copy or the collected trade as we just talked about. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting the fancy little slaughter bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.